What's up, everybody? How you doing, man? Welcome to Pierce Motorsports and Reptiles. Hope everybody's doing good tonight and everything else. I um, wanted to just jump in and hang out and everything else, and just do a couple lives and stuff on here. And just chit chat and hang out and everything, and welcome you guys to the show. Just want to talk about stuff and everything else. What's going on? Yeah, it's been quite an eventful stuff and everything else. Weekend with the snow here in Ohio and everything else. Hey, what's up, Benji? How you doing, big dog? Good seeing you in the chat, man. Thanks for checking in. But yeah, I'm in here hanging out and everything else. So um, some big plans coming on to. Oops, having some issues here. So give me a second. Sorry about that. But yeah, I've been over doing my podcast show and everything on the Nonsensical Network and everything else on Mondays and Thursdays with Speedway Stories Monday nights, hanging out and everything else with fans and having some guests and everything else on there. I got a few guests that lined up coming the end of the end of the season and everything else. So uh, this Monday night, I got my buddy West Drive, one of my tough truck guys, coming on. So we will have that going on and everything else with the show. Coming on talking about his race season and everything else. So we'll see what happens there. Hope everybody can tune in. On here, we are just getting things kind of lined out for 2026. And get the ball rolling on my end of my stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to answer a phone and do things that way and stuff on there. And still working on that event. I actually had somebody reach out to me about the possibility for the sponsorship and everything else that's going on. Um, and wanting to get in on it and stuff. So I had to get them information and all that stuff for them to sit and talk with them. I'm going to set up a meeting personally with them and everything else so they can uh, find out what's going on, all that, and do some business with them to come on board as a sponsor for my rough truck event. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on and everything else, how that falls out. Um, but we're getting things lined up. Got that going on. But yeah, it's gonna be, I think, gonna be an interesting year for all around for everybody. So we'll see what happens and stuff on that end. But yeah, I like I said, I've been doing my podcast over on the Nonsensical Network. Mondays, Speedway Stories, usually about 7, 8 o'clock every Monday night. And then Thursday nights, I do my cold blooded conversations with my buddy Johnny. He co-hosts with me on there. We talk reptiles and animals and everything on the show. Um, we've been killing it the last couple of weeks. He's been up there. It's really nice having a couple like-minded people to come in and everything else to be part of the show. Uh, I really enjoy it, and it's working out pretty good for that stuff. So we're gonna continue with that. It's nice change of pace. But yeah, it's looking good so far and everything else on that end, especially for me. We've been getting a lot more people over there on the channel. I'm hopefully next year gonna be doing my more videos too for this channel and everything else on top of doing the build of the rough truck on this channel and the network when I can. But mostly I'm gonna do that, save that for my own personal channel and I'll just share it over there. The step by step stuff of the building of the rough truck. Um, that and then we're also my second oldest is wanting to get into motocross racing, so my summers are going to be booked and everything. She wants to get into learn riding and all that, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. As long as she can stick with it, I told her we could do it and everything else. I'm pretty excited about that. So rough truck side of things, it's going to be probably mostly me and my son. Um, I've got a couple races I want to race and everything else, and then I'm going to go from there and do mostly turning wrenches and stuff. And then when he's not working and everything else in his time, I'm going to let him. He's going to be my driver. I'm going to be the crew chief. So that's the plans on that side. Um, besides besides that, and then of course, like I said, that event I want to put on at the end of October next year, truck event and everything else. So it's gonna be fun. And all the sponsors together, getting the paper layout for it, getting it all set up, ready to rock and roll. So we'll have that. Anything? Oh man, so give me 1 minute here. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. And I wanted to come on here, talk some motorsports and everything else too. Been seeing where one of the Americans in the motocross side ended up just winning over the seas during the overseas tour championship. Ended up winning it and everything else. So I mean, it was pretty cool seeing that sport growing over there as well. So it's really nice to see that and everything else. So it makes it cool to be able to do that. Season starts here for the Supercross series for Monster Energy Supercross series in January 10th. It's the kickoff season for that. Going to be a lot of exciting racing and everything else. So we'll see what happens. Going on with that this year, a lot of big changes, teams changing. One of my favorite riders went from Team Yamaha over to KTM this year, Eli Tomac. So we'll see how he does from the three races that he did overseas, over in Australia and stuff over there. He's looks like he's going to be a contender on that bike and everything else. Um, Chase Sexton, another rider I like. He ended up switching from KTM to Kawasaki. So that's going to be a new thing to see because Chase has been with KTM for a long time and switched out. I was kind of hoping it was going to be when they announced Eli was signing with KTM, it was going to be him, Chase, and Aaron Plessinger, the cowboy, representing KTM. But I see that didn't pan out. And then, of course, my buddy Johnny's a big Cooper Webb fan. He's healthy, hungry. He's ready to defend that 450 title. Um, he's going to have his hands full. That's all I can say with the Lawrence brothers, Hunter and them, and his brother, um, Tomac, Sexton, Plessinger. It's gonna be it's gonna be cool to see what happens and everything on that aspect of the deal. And but yeah, it's gonna be neat, man. So then we got the big announcement from the PRI, uh, ordeal that they had over in Indiana. They do every year for the sponsors, revealing stuff, everything else. This is in the drag racing world. Um, for one, starters, IHRA announced a small tire race. They're going to do a series on it and everything else. So that's going to be cool to see that ordeal. But NHRA got with Ryan Martin, Scott Taylor, and Murder Nova to counter them with their own uh, outlaw big tire class. So when it was Street Outlaws was still hot and heavy and everything else, um, And HRA tried to eliminate them, and now these guys are getting supported because it's Street Outlaws is dying. I'm sorry. It's an amazing ordeal to watch and everything else. It just got big and they just started watering it down, and now they're getting support from one of the biggest sanctioning bodies in drag racing that wanted to end them. Um, so, in my opinion, NHRA is just hanging on by strings. We'll see what IHRA does. I mean, they've been buying up tracks. They bought one of the most famous tracks in NHR's backyard. They bought Maple Grove out in Pennsylvania. Um, so they so they hit them where it hurt there over the weekend with that ordeal. So that's going to be a big big thing. One of the guys I also follow that's a big racer here in Ohio, Billy Hoskins, got the Drag Illustrated 30 for 30 this year. He was part of the group of top talent in the motorsports world for racing and everything else, and made that and got represented and everything else out at PRI. They were out there. It's a big thing where you get to go mingle with people in the industries and try to make a name for yourself. One of these times, I hopefully I can get a chance to go out and mingle with some of these sponsors. Um, I've seen some guys like me in my shoes end up with some pretty good big name people. So I mean, we'll see what happens on that ordeal and get it taken care of. And that'd be cool. I mean, it'd be neat to rub elbows with a bunch of people in the industry. There's everybody from the dirt track racing, everything else over there to your drag racing, and get to see the new products that the big name companies are releasing. Basically, it's like one of those kiss a kiss and butt kind of thing that some of these guys do. But if it wasn't for sponsors and stuff and these products that these companies are putting out and the racers using them, we wouldn't have the big corporate stuff for racing like we do. But it's also too the mom and pop shops and stuff. We got to have that get their support on the local scene. I mean, they may not be able to give a bunch, but you got to support local to start with. Yeah, it's nice to have some big corporate businesses and everything. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to hit local first with this event I'm doing, so that's going to be my learning curve to get them on board first and get them out there and get them exposure during this event, and then we're going to try to hit up some of the big names. I got a couple of them I've already emailed and need to check back up with after the first years when they said to. But my main goal is to at least have one of them to have it where they're there, but majority of it, like I said, is going to be my small businesses. So that's the goal on the sponsorship stuff. But yeah, back to the PRI. I mean, yeah, there's some cool new innovations that Elderbrock, Nitrous Express has done. Whipple brought out a new kick-ass supercharger and shit and blower motor that I got to see pictures of. That's pretty much all over my Facebook page and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kind of cool to see that stuff. So and but yeah, I don't know, just one of those deals. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I had to answer a text message and everything else. But yeah, it's going to be cool to see how this plays out for everybody. Me personally, I think it's going to be good. Just it's just the hustle and bustle, and you got to bust your ass to get what you need. I mean, you're not. I'm not no superstar. A lot of these guys that I hang out with and everything else, all it comes out of our pockets and everything. Um, they do get some sponsors, but yeah, we're not. Most of us aren't big name people, so it's we put in a little extra work here and there and everything else. I mean, it's what you got to do. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and talk motorsports, talk everything. Just kind of hanging out. My other thing is I want to talk about too, besides the motorsports stuff. I'm an avid wrestler fan, and um, one of my favorite wrestlers. We were talking on my buddy's podcast today on the network. His unnecessary roughness, the official retirement of John Cena. Um, I wasn't very happy with the outcome, the way it actually ended. But I mean, the man spent 20 years of his career giving us the best and the worst of his wrestling career. So it was pretty cool to do that and everything else. So it was different. I mean, it was a shame to see him tap out, but when you watch the finish of it, if you look closely, he's actually smiling before he taps out, so he knows what he was doing. I think personally, he could have gave it to somebody. They could have had somebody younger and a better talent for him to pass the torch to. Um, the guy Gunther he just lost to is the one also retired Bill Goldberg, if anybody knows Goldberg that watches wrestling and everything. So now he's labeling himself as the new legend killer of wrestling. So, um, but yeah, it was a 23 years of all come flowing back the memories and everything else from the day he entered wrestling Kurt Angle and stuff. So I mean, it was pretty cool to see that stuff happen and everything else. So we'll see how it's going there. But yeah, I did that, and we're gonna see where they go with this direction when they lost basically their company man, in my opinion, because he did everything and anything for the company. He had over almost 700 make a wishes in the 23-year span for people. The man gave his time to his fans, everything else. Uh, he's he had one little heel run for not even a month. The man's always been the good guy all the time. He just made it work. It was pretty cool to see and everything else. So we'll get we ain't gonna get nobody like him again. There's always that one in a million, and John Cena, in my eyes, was that one in a million. Like Stone Cold was a one in a million um, during the Attitude Era. And like I said, anybody watching wrestling or anything else, that's how it is. They do. You get that raw talent that everybody loves and disappears. Over the time frame of my wrestling, being a fan, I always liked Hulk Hogan until I realized after he was in WCW, he all he cared about was his ego and himself. He never put anybody over. All he wanted was the money and glamour and everything else, center of attention. I mean, yes, the man put wrestling on the map for what he did with Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, but it was just interesting to see that happen and stuff. So he we'll see what happens. Who's going to be the new the new carrier, the of the business is going to do what John Cena did for 23 years. I know Cody Rhodes don't have much left. Roman's same way. He's part time. John Cena was full time, basically 365 days a year. Man, he ate, slept, and wrestled all the time, year round. Did everything. So that's going to be some hard shoes to fill. We'll see if he can get it done and everything else. I'd like to. There's a lot of up and coming talent, but we'll see what the company and the owners of TKO and WWE does with everybody. So that's my rant on wrestling. So everybody, I'm gonna go ahead, cut this. Figured I'd jump in, just chat for a little bit and everything else, and s- let you guys know how I'm doing and stuff. If I don't do another live before Christmas again or anything else, you guys all have a good Christmas and a good New Year's. But also make sure you guys come over to the Nonsensical Network Monday nights. Just check out the whole channel. It's Nonsensical Network, YouTube and Facebook channel. We're all on all social media platforms actually, but we mainly go live on YouTube and Facebook. I'm live on Mondays and Thursdays. Check them out. Tune in this Monday, like I said, for my Speedway stories on the podcast. And you guys have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. God, nobody wants.